tell me how they turn out, just in time for V-Day. Start by making the magic circle, and I could show you down here. It's so easy. You kind of just do a loop like that, and you take this part that's onto the long part of the yarn and you bring it up. There we go. You bring it up, right? You see that? So you go around like that and you take this part and bring it up, the part that's the long part of the yarn. And we start by keep it as tight as you can, and you start by chaining 4, 3, 4, right? And I kind of keep this around the circle so I can pull it tight on the end. And the next thing we do, everything on this row or round, if you want to call it a round, is in the magic circle. So then we're gonna work 4 double crochets into the circle, right? The double crochet is 1 over, in and off 2, off 2, 1 over, off 2, off 2, right? You pull up a loop, off 2, off 2, and that's 3, and we work 4, right? 4 double crochet, and then we work 2 treble, and a treble is 1, 2 over, and you pull up a loop and you take off the first 2, the second 2, and the third 2, right? 2 over, you take off the first 2, the second 2, and the third 2, and then we do 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we do a slip stitch in the magic circle. Remember I said everything is in the circle, and then we do 4 chains again, 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll see the heart being formed right now. Then you do 2 trebles, so we're kind of reversing the order to keep the pattern. So that's 1 treble, 2 treble, all into the magic circle, don't forget that. And then we do 4 again double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, and after we do that 4, we tighten the circle. There we go. See, you already see the heart being formed, and then you count 4 up from the 4 chains you started with, 1, 2, 3, 4, and make sure you go through both loops of the top of the 4th chain, because the reason it's a little tough is because I keep it tight. That way the heart will come out nice and stiff like this, because we're wearing an earring. You want it nice and stiff, or you'll have to stiffen it. With this yarn, the Bernat Handicrafter Cotton, it's stiff enough that you don't have to stiffen it. So then we're gonna start with 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're gonna do a double crochet in the bottom of where we slip stitch. It's gonna be a little tight again, but that's okay. I want it tight because it needs to be nice and neat. So we do a double crochet in the bottom of the where we did the slip stitch, and then we do 2 double crochets in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, that's 1, right? Then this one, 1, 2, right? Then this one, 1, 2, right? We did 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet in each of the next 3, so 3 times. So 1, 2, 3 times, and then in the next stitch we do a double crochet and a treble, right? We're forming the second round of the heart. So after our double crochet and treble, we do 2 treble in the next stitch, 1, 2, yes. So we do 2 treble in the next stitch, and in the next stitch we do 3 trebles, which is 1, 2, 3, right? And then after we do that 3 treble, we do a double crochet in the top of the 4th stitch. So remember we did 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the top, once again, we do the double crochet by going through both stitches, right? It has to be nice and neat, and it has to be a little tight, so it might look a little difficult, but you'll figure it out easily once you start doing it. It's not as bad as it looks. So we did a double crochet in the 4th stitch through both loops, and then we do 4 chains, and we do a slip stitch into the center. Yep, do a slip stitch into the center, just double checking that one, as the center of that little hole. See this little hole here? It's the same little hole. And then on the next end we come out again and we do 4 chains. I try to keep it as tight as possible just so that the patterns stay really nice. And then in the top of that same 1, 2, 3, 4, the top of the stitch, you go through both loops again. It's always through both loops. We will do a double crochet, right? And then we start counting back exactly what we did on one side to the next side, right? So we did a double crochet in the 4th chain, and then we'll do 3 treble in the next stitch, right? Just like what we did on the last side. If you look at the pattern, that's what you did on the last side. 2, 3, right? And then we do 2 treble in the next one. So 1, 2, 2 treble in the next one. Then we do a treble and a double crochet in the next one. So 1, 2, 3, see? A treble and a double crochet. It's only 1, 2, right? And a double crochet in the next one. Yes, we did that. Yeah. And then in the next 2 double crochet, we do 2 double crochet in each of the next, the next 2 stitch. Well, they're double crochets too. You do 2 double crochet in the next 2, right? And then in the last stitch, we do a double crochet, right? And a treble. And instead of ending off just putting a slip stitch in the top of the 4 here, I turn it around and I go through the back. This is just gonna make it so much neater. You'll see what I mean. You could try it your way, but this way is the best way to do it. So I just go through both loops from the back. It's always both loops. It's a little tricky because it's a bit tight, but that's okay, you'll get it in, right? And then I bring this to the back, right? And I take this loop and put it back on the hook. I'm sure you can see that. And I pull it through like that. And then I cut off how much I think I'll need to stitch it in to hide it. And I pull this through. And then I really tighten that. See? If you look at them, they're so nice and neat. And then for the last, we take the yarn needle and we string it. And then we just do a few little stitches to hide the edge here, right? See one there. Just go back and forth into a few stitches at the back. Don't come to the front. This is the back of the earrings, because you want it to look as neat as possible, that nobody is seeing anything pushing out, any little thread pushing out, right? This is how I do it. And then I just go back down into some of them. You don't need to do one at a time, but I just wanted to show you. And then you take your scissors and you snip it as close as possible. And the same thing with this, I just do a little pull again and I snip that as close as possible. And if you look at the back of them, it doesn't look like I have any endings, right? That's how cool this is. And then we take our pliers, right? And I want to do something a little different, so I kind of put the hook here. Instead of doing it like this, I do the hook up here. So, or we could do it that way, so the heart is more at the back. So let's do this one this way, right? These are all the findings you need. So I just find somewhere to put the little finding in, right? And this is the hook. This one is gonna go into your right ear, right? And I put the hook on. Then I tighten it. There we go. Nothing fancy, right? And this one could go into my right ear, right? Go in. Sorry, I said right, but it's my left ear this one is for. And now this one will be for my right ear. So I do the same thing. I cannot try to do it exactly where it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I do the same. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I put the little hook around. I make sure I put it through both top loops too, just to make it a little sturdier, right? And because this one is gonna be for my right ear, the hook has to be turned this way. I was to do that one this way, but I didn't. I did it the opposite way, so you have to be for the left ear. And I just take my pliers and tighten it up, and that's it. That's the earrings, right? It started with a heart and it ended with a heart, and they're so cute, and I'm gonna show you them in as well. Okay, you can get this done. I did this in under 10 minutes, right? You can get this done so quick and wear them in time for V-Day. Thank you for watching. Have an amazing day.